Hey gang, it's Chris Shepard here, and I'm standing at the crossroads, getting ready to show you part 2 of my 12-bar blues for beginners. So let's just jump right on into it. The 12-bar blues is pretty much one of the most influential and important musical forms in the history of music. Now, it's really not even all that old. It pretty much got codified in the early 1900s. While I'm sure there are like thousands of blues artists who have never gotten any recognition whatsoever, one who did was a guy named Robert Johnson, and rightfully so. He pretty much laid down the foundations of rock and roll. Now, as rock and roll developed, the blues became a huge part of it. A lot of British bands like Cream and Led Zeppelin, Yardbirds, Stones, Beatles, etc., etc., they were definitely influenced by early rock and roll coming out of the United States. Chuck Berry, Little Richard, just to name a few. I went down to the crossroads, tried to pack it right. Now, obviously, you have some amazing guitar greats such as Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jeff Beck. Pretty much every guitar player from the 60s and 70s was influenced by the blues in some form or another. Blues made its way up all the way through bands such as Black Sabbath, all the way to contemporary bands like the White Stripes, the Black Keys, and several others. And believe it or not, the blues is even influential on some pop artists such as Taylor Swift. That's right, Taylor Swift is influenced by the blues, and we will discuss that in another video, which will actually be a lot of fun. Alright, so let's get down to teaching this thing. So last lesson, I had you just playing one open string at a time. A for 4 times, D twice, A twice, E, D, A, then E to turn it back around. Now this week we're going to add a power chord. Power chord, yeah! Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our first finger of our left hand, we're going to put on the 2nd fret of the D string, which is directly below the A string. Hit it 4 times, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, now what we're going to do is we're going to take our first finger, we're going to drop it downward, go this way, down towards the floor. So now we have our open D still, but then we have our first finger at the 2nd fret on the G, making our D5 power chord. 2, 3, 4. And we go back up to the A1, just 1 string higher, up to the sky. Now for our E, we're going to go up 1 more. Alright, then we're going to drop back to our D1, so it's the middle 2 strings of the guitar. We're going to be at the 2nd fret on the G. And then we're going back to the D string for the A power chord. And then turn it back around, like so. Now, let's hear what that sounds like in context with a backing track. So, back to the studio. Phil Lewis guitar, 12-bar blues, backing track in A. It's just a great one. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Here we go to D. 2, 3, 4. Again. Now back to A. Again. Now here's the quick part. We got E, the D now. Now back to A. Then we got a little turnaround. And that's all there is to that. Let's get back to the crossroads to see what we can do next. Alright, so now that we got that down, let's actually work on our shuffle pattern itself. Now the shuffle pattern goes like so. Now what I'm doing is, I have my first finger still on the second fret on the D, but then I'm bringing my third finger onto the D string at the 4th fret. So it's always frets 2 and frets 4 on the same string. Frets 2, frets 4 on the same string. So it goes like this. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. That rhythm can be hard for people, so I suggest just listening to some blues. I mean, it's a great place to start if you're going to try it. But one of the things that I like to say is a little ditty I call Jammin' Down in Alabama. And if you say Jammin' Down in Alabama while playing this, it can help you remember the rhythm. Jammin' down in Alabama, jammin' down in Alabama, jammin' down in Alabama, jammin' down in Alabama. So we did that 4 times. Now the tricky thing inside of that is, if I go 2, 4, 2, 4, you may think that that's 2 times. That's only 1, because when we do the counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, that equals 1 full measure, which is why I think sometimes for people it's easier just to sing Jammin' Down. Okay, so either way, we do that 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, ready, switch. Now we dropped it down to the D. Now back to A. Now we're going to go up to the E1. Ready? Same pattern as all of them. Only 1 time of that. Now this is tricky. We drop back to the D. 1 time. And then we go back to the A for 1 time. And then we do our little turnaround. We hit the E once. We go to the D string. 1, 2. Here's the whole thing. Here's the 3rd time. Ready, switch to D. Now back to A. Now up to E 1 time, to D 1 time. Back to A. Now we do our little turnaround. And that, my friends, is the 12-bar blues. If you like what you're seeing on the Tone Canyon channel, please subscribe, share it with people, make some cool comments. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to leave that in the comments section for me as well. If you'd like a PDF, I'm more than happy to send you one of any of the tabs that we've done. Additionally, if there's a particular piece of music or style that you would like to have broken down, or if you have any questions about equipment, I got a ton of it, so I'm more than happy to show some of that stuff off in the future. Please feel free to comment, and I will make sure that I do my best to tailor to your needs. Once again, this is Chris Shepard from the Crossroads for Tone Canyon. Thank you very much. 12-bar blues.